I'm Misty from Love and Light Gallery. Today I'm going to show you how to use my water-soluble transfer sheets with all of your favorite polymer clay brands. Let's get started. You may already know that you can use these transfer sheets with Primo clay, but did you know that you can also use them with Cernit, Pardo, and Cause clay? I'm going to show you, using this water-soluble transfer sheet from my website, a sample of each. I'm just going to cut this. I've prepared some clay sheets already. I've rolled these out and conditioned them on my pasta machine. And I'm just going to cut little squares. This here is the Cernit, this is the Pardo, this is the Cause clay, and this is the Primo. You're just going to want to burnish these papers on here really well, making sure there's no air bubbles. If you're not familiar with this technique, these are printed specifically for use on polymer clay using a laser printer and special paper. Just gonna rub all of these. Until they're really well burnished. And these are gonna need to sit for several minutes. I like to leave mine for about 10 minutes. You can leave them like a slightly longer amount of time. Some people even leave them less time, but I find that 10 minutes is pretty good. It's like my sweet spot. I think that's pretty good. And you're gonna wanna use clay that's fresher. The more oil it has, the better it will adhere to the paper. So this is nice fresh clay. Just going to, you can already see that the image is brightening, and that means that that oil is sucking up into the paper. So I have to leave this for 10 minutes, and I'll be right back to show you the next step. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, the paper has started to absorb the oil of the clay, and the images are more vibrant. So it's time to rinse. I'm going to put them on this plate. Usually I do this under the sink faucet, but for the sake of this video, I think this will be easier. This is just water. I'm going to saturate the paper, and I'm just gonna leave it sitting for about 15 to 20 seconds. The longer you leave this on before trying to remove it, the better it will come off. You know that you're ready to remove the paper when you see that it puffs up. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can at an angle, but it starts to get fluffy, sort of like material or like cotton. Once you see it's all puffy, I like to take a piece of folded up paper towel and put it on my blade and lightly hover over without scraping too hard, just to scrape the paper out of the way. Just clean that up. There may be little bits of paper left behind, but I don't worry about those while the clay is still raw, because the more you mess with this, the more of a chance you'll smear it. It's not heat set until it comes out of the oven. So if you see little bits of paper, don't worry, you can remove those later, but looks pretty good. You can pat them dry or you can air dry them. Just be really gentle not to smear. Once they're completely dry, they are sticky before you bake them. They can be tacky. So you can use a little bit of cornstarch or baby powder before you cut these out if you'd like. I can see these are not dry yet, so if I do that, it's just gonna become gunky, and I don't want that. So I gotta wait a little bit. It's looking better. I think I'm gonna take a chance just so I can show you what this looks like. Just gonna put a little tiny bit of cornstarch on here. I actually prefer baby powder, but I grabbed the cornstarch by accident, so I'll use that. I'm gonna use this little butterfly cutter just to show you how cute they look. And I don't think I'm going to bake these because I have samples here already baked. But aren't those gorgeous? They look so good. And these here are samples of them after they've been baked. I love it because you can see the cause clay is still bendy. The image is bright. Pardo, not so flimsy, but a very good clay. And I'm happy to know I can use it on that clay now. Cernet. And the Primo. Okay, I'm gonna put those to the side. If you've been a clay artist for some time, then I'm sure you've heard people say you cannot use Fimo with these papers, as Fimo does not play nicely with water. The clay can become gummy and it's just a hot mess. And I don't know. I mean, I usually just stay away from Fimo altogether. It's not my clay that I tend to use. But for this experiment, I thought I would just go ahead and do some Fimo. So I wanted to show you my findings. I used Fimo Soft, and I put 2 here because I want to show you 2 experiments that I did with it. These have been sitting for over 10 minutes, just like the others, so I wanted to rinse that and show you. This side I'm going to rinse with water, and this side I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to do the same thing I did for the other clays. Gonna wait just a few more seconds. Get my blade ready while I'm waiting. Okay, just gonna give that a moment to dry. Looks pretty dry. I'm gonna go ahead and do some cornstarch. Okay, so as you can see, I did it no problem, and I don't know if other people have discovered this or not, but it worked for me. It's worked a bunch of times for me, so I don't know if it's something with the Fimo Soft versus the regular Fimo or what, but I've done all different size pieces with this technique using water, and I haven't had any problem with it. If you have used Fimo or tried to use Fimo with your transfer sheets, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. And I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it's something with Fimo Soft. I haven't tried it with regular, but I'm kind of tempted to now. I just didn't have any. So for the last thing I wanted to show you was something that was a happy accident for me. I decided to try this even before trying Fimo with water. I thought, well, what about with alcohol? So I used some 91% alcohol in place of water. and it's a completely different reaction. So at first I thought it was a fail. As you can see, it doesn't puff up at all. But something interesting happens when you go to remove it. When you go to remove it, the paper is rigid and it doesn't take the entire image off. It leaves it pastel, which I think is a really neat effect. Really beautiful effect. It's not quite as sticky either. It is still a little bit sticky though. I will use some powder. Aren't these gorgeous? I mean, it's the same paper, two totally different effects. I love it. So like I said before, I'm not going to bake these and show you the baked versions because I have them already. But look, they all bake and retain their color beautifully. The Fimo, I'm super impressed with. It just blew my mind, so I had to share with you guys. I hope you find this informative, and I hope that you'll try to do this with your own projects. If you found these tips and tricks useful, then please like and subscribe. I will be making more videos, and I am excited to share them with you. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.